Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we are looking at the Ghost, and I don't just have one, but we have both versions of this. So if you were to go to, say, Target, they have this one available. You can also find this online, and actually at the moment it's going for, I think, like $40. So if you can catch it quick, it's wonderful. Okay, this is the expensive one. This is the one that comes complete with the shuttle and the Y-wings. Actually, it has a base underneath here, so we will get into all of that stuff here. And that is what, like 100 and something or whatever. I ordered it. I do love this ship. I love the concept of it. From watching the Rebels, I really like how we have a ship, but we also have a shuttle as well. Now, I did pick up a shuttle for going on to the base one, and then the other day or whatever, I noticed that in Series 7, they do have the Phantom 2. So I waited until I got the Phantom 2 in hand, so that way we can do this all completely together, and we'll see how this all works out. The Phantom 2 does plug in just the same as how the original Phantom had plugged in. The only downfall I do see is in the cartoon, you could have the Phantom parked going this way as well as away. Here we can only have it facing away. So please just keep that in mind. It's just some of the quirks that we have here. So first and foremost, I'm going to have to take one of these off of here. So that way we can hopefully, really take a look at what we all have. So, set one down here, set this off to the side. All right, so let's just look at the base model. Now, like I said, it's like $50-$60 or whatever. So yes, my wife is going to kill me when she sees the bill on all this. It is very nicely done. I do really like it. And when they were coming up with the idea, and I do want to shout this out because it's something that has stuck with me the entire time. The nose is based off of a B-17. And the concept of it's like a B-17 as a transport in Star Wars. So this nose is the same kind of a thought of a B-17. So when you really get to see it, it really does resemble that B-17 here with the chin gun and all that, our nose gunner. That's where that whole design came from. Now, I'll take the shuttle off. I didn't have it fully on there, I guess. It does click on there a little on the stiff side. Not always the easiest to get off of there, but we do have some pegs here to hold that on. So hopefully you guys can see that. I think I got too many ships here. All right. So I do really want to point that out. This does have electronic functions, which we'll get to when we flip this around. And then you'll be able to see it's got lights on the back as well as lights in here in the cockpit. So that it's just a wonderful thought that they put into it. Getting this off of here is a little challenging at first. It is very snugly on. I mean, this will hold, and I've seen that on a couple other ships where when we're doing that, they have that on very nice and snug. The downfall is if you were to buy this for a kid and they want to play with it, I could see that really kind of taking a huge pounding and maybe getting broken. You're trying to the kind of play a nice fine balance here between those two ideas, right? You want it to look good. This is a nice display piece. It's got wonderful detail here, and I cannot knock that in any regard. But if you want this for kids to play with, which for the price, I don't go shopping for a lot of the extra toys, so I really can't say, but I'm thinking you're probably not going to buy this for the kids. I think it's more of us old guys buying this as a collector. So in that regard, it's kind of sad because I think Hasbro and Disney and even Mattel and all the other toy companies, you have to realize if you want this stuff to keep going on for generations, make versions of this stuff that the kids are going to want to get into. You might do some higher end stuff, but you want to have versions for the kids so they can play, they can have fun, and then they can look back in 15, 20 years and say, hey, I remember that. They've relaunched it. I would like to get a nice copy of it, even if it's, here's a high end and here's a low end copy. So here's the low end for the kids while dad's got his up on the shelf, or even in today's day and age, who knows, maybe it's mom, because there are plenty of women that do love Star Wars, or some of the other franchises as well, right? Okay, so I do want to get this kind of opened up here. Let's flip this over so we can see this first. We do have landing gear. Now, technically there's 4. There's only 3 that we put down, because we do have the front one. This is always sitting here. It doesn't extend. It's just here. We have a battery box, which I do have the 3 AAA batteries in. And then we have 1 landing gear, 2 landing gear, and all the way in the back is a 3rd one. Now, I've played around a little bit with this. If you don't have this 3rd one, because it is so heavy on the back side, if that's not down, it will flop back. So do keep that in mind. If you want to park this on the ground, you're going to need all those landing gear down. It is there for a reason. And I think they did a very good job. You know, the Millennium Falcon had 5 landing gear, I believe. And when I was a kid, they only had 3 of them on there. So they did it as a tripod instead of all 5 of them. And it works as a toy, but then unfortunately someone had tried to build one at a like 1/4 scale, and they jumped into the thing, and because it didn't have all the landing gear down, they went off the toy. That thing just kind of fell over. So unfortunately they spent a long time making it look good. And I don't remember where I saw the video, but it did look pretty decent for what they had done. And they got inside and they were all hunched over in there, and it just kind of completely flipped over on them. So kind of a sad deal. All right, and we do have nice paint, great detail here. So I'm hoping you guys are seeing all this. It is very nice detail, and I really do like how they've done this. This is like a model class production in my mind. Something really worth just having on the shelf here. Now, this is popping up a little easier than it did the first time I ever did this. I was trying to figure this out. Of course, I'm trying not to break it. You know, you spend $60 on something, the last thing I want to do is break it right away. So I will say that. Now, the turret, the cannon does go up and down. Looking inside here, there's a part of me that says it should rotate, but there again, I'm nervous about trying to rotate this around because it's very stiff, and I don't want to break this thing. This flips up so you can get a character in here, but I just don't know how to get this to really rotate. Oh, here we are. I guess with all this out and around, I mean, I'd like to have it rotate forward, but at the moment I'm only able to just rotate it a little bit, and I don't, you know, like I said, I don't want to break it because, you know, I hate to think I spent money on this and then I break it, and then my wife's going to be really mad when she finds out I break something, right? And I'd be kind of upset with myself. So it'll probably just stay parked this way, not a big deal. Alright, so I do have some speeders in here because I was putting some other stuff. I had found or gotten a couple of these, and I'm just kind of going through because, you know, like most kids, and I'm just a big kid, so please bear with me. It was one of the other sets, I think it was like an A-Wing or whatever, and it had some extra speeder bikes, and I had this open, so I just put them in there for the moment. Now, if you notice, we do have these tabs. Now, this comes out a little difficult. I'll probably have an easier time now that I know what I'm doing. Now, this is for our docking clamp. So, I can snap that back in, and anything that has a droid spot. So technically, this having a droid spot, I should be able to kind of park it in there, but it doesn't really want to park on this one. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, because that's where it parks on the Y-wings. So, but this should park, this will park back here, and then we'll get that in there later, and we'll look at that before we do. So this is how we're actually grappling onto our Y-wings. It actually sits there, and it goes into our droid socket. So then I can just, there we are. And now it's parked on there. And it's actually, I heard it click. I don't know if you guys heard that or not. But it actually had like a little spot where it clicked on there. So they must have put a little extra piece here. Let's see, I don't want to trip over the other one, because I got pieces all over the place here. I really want to see if I can get some of the other fighters to do that as well. So let's see what we got. There's an old one, a new one. Okay. So we got a couple different ships here. Let's just have fun with this, and let's just kind of play around, because, you know, if it fascinates me, I'm sure somebody else is kind of wondering, can you or can you not do this? So here we have a V-wing, which I haven't reviewed yet, but if I can get the droid out. Now the nice thing I will say with a lot of the new ships is we have a button underneath to try and push that droid out. So let's just say we have a V-wing. Yeah, she clips in there. So with the newer ones, it definitely works. And if I push out on that button underneath there, it really kind of helps to disconnect it. So it works with a V-wing. Now here's going to be a big test, because this is an old Galoob X-Wing. So please keep this in mind. I don't have a button underneath here. This is the old R2. I don't know if it'll fit in here or not. No, it won't fit. So the old Galoob ones, if you have these are not going to work for that. So I do want to, you know, at least mention that, because that's something I was wondering. Now here is Poe Dameron's X-Wing. And that fits. So yes, technically I could park that in there. So it's one of those things I kind of went a little on the deep side, because I wanted to see how these all match up with the old Galoob ones. So that's where I was kind of going with a lot of this. So I want to see, I want to know for myself. I had gotten the old Galoob when it was the Action Fleet, so I really wanted to know. And everything was smaller size. This is just beautiful. The fact that we have the rooms in here. We don't have bunk beds like you see in the cartoon. So some of these, I think probably these two were bunk beds, where the front ones were just singles. But we do have rooms in here. We have our crawl space here, so you can kind of go between our crew lounge area, into the shuttle, into the maintenance area. We have a piece that comes up here, which I broke my fingernail off trying to work on some other stuff. Trying to work on Christmas lights is what it really was. I've been having issues there. So I'm hoping you can see into here, and I'm having a little bit of a harder time myself. So we do have like an extra entry kind of maintenance crawlway here, that you could actually have a character down in for play or whatever. That would be wonderful. It really would be. We have nice seating. We have, to kind of show this, and I do have just a spare figure, for seating in that, we do have kind of a little clip here to put a little pressure on the legs to try and hold figures in here. So I do want to kind of show that a little bit. It gets a little tricky when we're looking at the cockpit. So let's see, the cockpit here goes up. If I can get this correctly. Oh, come on. So the base one comes with Sabine, and of course I've got her in the gunner station. We have Kanan, Hera, and Zeb. What we don't have is we do not have Chopper. So if you want Chopper and if you want Ezra, you really have to get the shuttle. Shuttle. Here, boy. There it is. Okay. So if you want them, they come with the shuttle. So just kind of showing off the shuttle just briefly here, because I do want everyone to see all the differences and everything else that we have here. I do have Ezra in the shuttle. So he's sitting here in the cockpit. This does open in the front, which did take me a little bit to kind of figure out. Just like trying to pop this off. This comes from the back here. And then it kind of pops going forward a little bit and then up. And we have a spot in here for Chopper, as well as right in front of that rear cannon turret. We have a spot for him in there. So sitting in here, we do have one holder for one figure, as well as, so we have room in here, but not a lot of room. Okay, there is one jump seat sitting down there, like if somebody wants to sit. And in the original Phantom and that, they didn't have a lot of room there. This does open up, although it's a little, I think it's just this one itself. Oh, come on, there it is. That hinge is a little off on this one. I haven't tried playing with the other one yet. So this side kind of droops a little bit, and it's fallen off on me just trying to bring it out. So for the most part, I've just been kind of leaving it on, all closed up, and I just kind of look at it in that regard, which works if you just want to look at it as a shuttle. Atmospheric wise, you're going to want the wings down. If you're out in space, it probably doesn't matter. Just kind of looking at it in that regard. But it is kind of nice. It's nicely done. It gives a good place sense of what the shuttle originally was. So I think this is nicely done. I think see, now it just popped off on me again. I think it's just this copy of it. There. So at least for mine, I will keep it pretty much. But I want to show you. That's why I got this. This is to show you, so that way if you get this, you know what to look at, how things kind of open. And I mean, it is a beautiful looking ship. It really is. So it just caught my eye. And with two different versions, I wanted to know what's the difference. So that's why I did what I did. Alright, so we got this side done. We've looked inside some. We do have our rooms. We have our entryway for docking. I'm going to put this in. If I can get this out. Of course, I'm reaching around the camera. That doesn't help either. Okay. Am I not in the right spot here? I don't think I was in the right spot. Okay. So let's flip this around. So we do have two buttons here. So if I hit one, we have the engines light up. So you can see the engines are all lit up. That's really nice. As well as a light in the cockpit here. So if you look, we have a blue light in there. Oops. And if I hit the button, we have like a red flashing light in there. I'm not exactly certain how the sounds fully work, if it's on a loop, like you go forward and backwards. And now we got a light in there. So I haven't played with it that much. And it did seem like it stayed on for a little bit, and it made some extra sounds. So there is that. It is very nicely done. I do really like how this is. So now that we've gotten the first, we will get to the second one here in a minute. But before we do that, because that one, now this gate got a little tricky because we have a tab, all here, and I'm trying to get these in as it makes all the sound for us. Oh, come on, snap in there. Oops. Okay. It's got the tabs in the front, so I got to get those tabs in first. Oh, come on. There we go. Now I think I got her. So like I said, I mean, this gets a little tricky, especially if you're trying to get this for a kid. See, now this side's flat here. It's up a little on this side. That's down. That's down. But now this one's a little off. I think I'm just going to leave that be. I don't want to break it, so... but now I have yet to park the Phantom 2 on here. So let's park that on there. So that's doing it all on its own. So these buttons do extra things here. And the kind of quirky part is, now you can't park it this way. It has to be parked this way. I'm trying to get it in here. And it snaps on, and it snaps on hard. And I don't know if I have to have these out. I think I do. Yep. Then it'll snap on there, but because I'm kind of nervous doing this, I think I'll just leave it be for now. So we'll just kind of go with that. All right, let's get this down below. As she still keeps talking to us. Now, looking at the difference between the Phantom and the Phantom 2. They both fit into the same cradle. It does work. As you can see, you had room for one person in the back, as well as Chopper and a pilot. Now here, oh, come on. Here. When we look inside here, this has seats for 6 people. So you have a spot for one person to stand, as well as Chopper. This door does come down. And it has a little click up here, so when you get it, you have to kind of click that. And then this goes forward. That kind of tripped me up. And we have a spot for 2 people. So I have Kanan here, but this is Kanan with the cover over his eyes. This is after he's been blinded. And then we have a spot for another pilot, or a co-pilot, as well as Chopper on the side here. So depending on how you want to do this, you know, this is a bigger shuttle. So it was an upgrade for the Phantom, going from just a smaller shuttle to the I want to say the Stealthipede shuttle, being a little bit bigger, but this is a smaller variant of that, and it did work pretty well. Dave Filoni gave him a pretty good upgrade when he did this. Now we do have landing gear. So it's our standard Stealthipede style landing gear. If I can get that. There we go. So it's sitting out here, so that lands and it sits nice and level. And then I'll have to try and get this back on. Now this going back on was a little trickier. I'll probably start going easier now that I've done it, but like that first time, it's a little stiffer. So, very nice addition. Now this is a Series 7. This just came out. So when I ordered it, it was a pre-order and it was coming up. So I really lucked out. I really wanted to wait for this to be out before I did the video, and I had just gotten this in yesterday. So that's how soon this had just come out. Just trying to get a good inclusive of everything that we've got for this ship. Okay, so we'll remove these, And as we look at what comes in on the big section, so we have the entire cast here because we have Zeb, Ezra, Kanan, Sabine, and Hera, as well as we have 2 Y-Wing pilots. We have John Vander, we have Tyson, we have R2, BHD, and R5 astromech droid, as well as Chopper here. So we have 2 droids for the Y-Wings, and we have Chopper. Now, I've already done the Y-Wings once. I will kind of go over just briefly here because I do something I didn't really think about mentioning before. We do have a spot for 1 person. This is a Y-Wing long probe. There are 2 different variations of the Y-Wing. So this is a long probe. The long probe only has room for 1 person. The jump seat has been kind of taken out because it's actually meant for extra food supplies and all that. So that meant that you either kept the ion cannons facing forward, or you had them turned around to face the rear. It was kind of a pilot decided thing. Do you want to try and stop someone from attacking you from the rear, hopefully, or do you want that extra firepower in the front? And then we also have our astromech droid spot. If we had a standard Y-Wing, then you had a gunner spot right here, and you could have someone man that turret. That's the difference between the long probe and the standard Y-Wing. What we always see is the long probe. So in the book series and in the greater Star Wars universe, there is 2 versions of the Y-Wing. Now, there was also the prototype, which was kind of given to us in episode 9, but that's really based off of Ralph McQuarren's drawing of what the Y-Wing was supposed to be. So they took his drawing and literally made it the ship, instead of taking what George Lucas, looking at the drawing and Industrial Light and Magic making the Y-Wing into what it had become, going from there. So I do want to kind of point that out a little bit. That's where we get our different variations. But it is really cool. I mean, when I went over the whole thing, we have a little bit more detail on this variation of the Y-Wing than what we had gotten prior. So it is wonderful. So I do want to let you know that. So this is sitting up a little higher. We do have a stand here. So this has a stand, and it's connected to the landing gear in the middle and in the back here. So I don't know how I get that off per se, because I'd really like to have that sit down, but I also want to go through everything else. So, just how does it look? Does it look different? Now, visually looking at it, we have some laser scoring. So this is taking a little bit of damage. We got a spot here. It looks like it's a little dirtier, like they kind of brushed a little extra dirt on there, kind of going from there. And even coming in out of the box, this is up just a little bit. So I'm not the only one having problems with it. Even they're having problems out of the factory. That tells you that I'm not the only one, so I feel better about that. Our turret here opens up the same way. Everything else looks the same coloration. Seeing I can just look down and see what we have, and just hoping I don't kick the other one, because I really don't want to. The cannon, it's still stiff. I'm sure if I played with it and I really get it turning and all that, it'll loosen up, and then I'll be able to. There we go. So I really wanted this facing more forward. But once you get it going, and then you get a little loosened up here, which is what I always talk about with like all the figures and all that. I mean, when you get it brand new, you expect it to be a little on the stiffer side. And of course, because I know I break things at times, I really don't want to, but I kind of inadvertently do. I just want to be careful with it. So we'll take the Phantom off, and then you get to see how hard. Okay, so the Phantom isn't fully locked on here either, because it's actually up on this side. So let's see. and it pulls off hard. It's actually clipping right here into that, and these are in good. It's just that it keeps, so I could see in the long run these could break. I really see that in the long run. Let's see if this one has the same issue with the wings. That one worked really well. Yeah, and this one worked really well. So I think it's just that one just having the slight issue. But for the most part, I think what I'm going to do, because I've had that issue with the one, I think this is probably how I will leave it. I think I will just leave these all bundled up like that. And that one laser is kind of wonky already, coming right out of the box. It keeps wanting to go up. Just being what it is. Some of the issues I've had, not here, but on some of the other ships, trying to get this to go forward, that joint doesn't seem like it's the strongest, so please be careful there. Just one of the things I've noticed so far in unboxing and just playing with these, I have a lot of ships to kind of go through. I did a little bit of, I was able to find a lot of these on sale, and the worst part is I'd see them go on sale one day, I ordered it, and like the next day it went off sale. So I was catching it as it went on sale. And there was, I picked up one Y-wing because I wasn't thinking that I had two Y-wings coming in with this. I bought that at a full price. And then like 2 days later it went on sale. I was like, well, I already got one. So, but I wanted to compare it with the old Y-wing. So, you know, that's on me. If you can find the stuff on sale, keep looking. It goes on sale like for a day, and all of a sudden then it's gone. So internally this is all the same. It's the same shuttle. It looks the same. I don't see any difference in the paint or anything else. So I don't think there's any difference here. It's just a little bit of a paint difference there. I don't have batteries in here. Let's see, I do have my screwdriver and I have a set of batteries. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip this over because I want to know, because this is why we're doing this. I just have to kind of know. Inquiring minds want to know. All right, now how do I get this off? Oh my goodness. There it is. Just have to kind of pull a little harder. So this digs in a little bit in here. So you do have to kind of pull a little bit on there. Just doesn't seem quite right doing it, but it is what it is. All right, grab my box of batteries here. So I want to know, does it play different sounds? This is the whole reason why I got this. I just really wanted to know. I probably could have just lived with the one, especially when I saw the shuttle, but having two variations, what are they doing different? Is there something that you're getting different for one compared to the other? Now I did see this go on sale momentarily. Instead of being like 100, it was down to like 80 bucks, and I think it jumped back up. So please do keep an eye on it. Maybe you can catch it for a little less. I know it's Christmas time, and me being the giant kid that I am, I'm here and I'm trying to do this. So okay, so now we got batteries in there, landing gear, and we have scoring marks underneath here too. So it does look a little, we got the scoring marks, and there's a part of me that says, and I know the lighting's not the best where I'm shooting here. Oh my, that landing gear is stiff. Oh boy. See, and this is where I worry I'm going to break something. Oh, come on, please. See, it's got some tabs here to try and help hold this. I don't think we have that on the other one. Let me flip that over. Or flip the other one over. Yeah, we do have that on the other one. So it is there. It's just that these I've got one of them and it wants to kind of just flop down a little bit. So I don't get it. I really don't. I'm having issues here, but I don't understand why. It's like it's catching right on that little lip. So I think that's just going to have to be the way it is. Let's see how it sits. It's sitting okay, but it is a little wobbly here. Just being honest. Alright, so we do have. There we go. That second button doesn't. Nope, there it goes. We do have the lights in the back. I held both of them down on the other one, and it did the same thing. So, all right, let's see if we can get this up. There we are. Now that looks a little different. So we do have a little bit different paint job inside. On the other one, this was not that color. So I'm going to pull this off. Yeah. So when you're looking inside, this is all the same color gray, and this has been kind of recolored here. So there is an internal difference too. So depending on which one you have, when you look at it on the inside and that, we do have recoloring here. So it does give us a little different sense of what's there. This looks the same. Oops. If I can get that piece in there. Now, one of the things I didn't show on the other one is this ramp does come down. So we have lights coming through there. So, okay, let's open this up. So now you get to see where the lights are. So we have a spot for Chopper in the back as well as everybody else here. So we have all 5 right here plus a spot for Chopper in the door. So that's really where the differences come in. So when you get this one, we do have recoloring on the inside, so it is a little bit higher end. So you are paying for a little higher end. It's not just giving you the Y-wings and the Phantom. I really wish I realized that doesn't want to. It's like it's just catching right there. It just. Oh, so it's motion. So if I do a motion, then it starts doing some of that. Alright, I don't see anything else inside here. Very cool, very much. I think it's worth it. Knowing that there is an internal difference, it's not much, but there is some recoloring in here. That does change it. Is it worth, you know, most people are going to get one or the other, and I understand that. Most people aren't going to be as goofy in the head as I am and get both, because I really wanted to do this as a video to show what's the difference, because that's important to me. So I figure if you're buying it and you really wanted to know, because we have 2 variations, what is that variation? And that really lets us know. So hopefully this kind of covers everything you were hoping for. If I missed something, let me know in the comments. We can always revisit it. I can always just single something out and say, hey, here's a short on something, or you know, whatever. But let me know. The reason why I wanted to do this is because, you know, as much of a Star Wars and Star Trek and all the other sci-fi fan that I am, when I see 2 different variations of something. Sometimes I really want to know what it is, and this is exactly what I do the videos for. So here we are. This is what I wanted to do, and this is the fun stuff to me. It's something nice to put on the shelf, and occasionally I'll pick it up and I'll go vroom vroom. But it's nice to look and see a physical representation for like role playing and stuff like that. And something else I really wanted to mention here, doing this scale. So these are, you know, a 1-inch figure scale is roughly your HO train scale. So for anyone that didn't know, and I really never put much attention to it, if you're looking for scenery or anything else, you could easily grab an HO train scale building, paint it up into something that looks Star Wars-ish, and here you are. If you're looking for civilians, and just you could buy regular HO people and paint them up however you want or whatever, if that's something you're into. Me personally, my hands start shaking when I'm trying to paint, so I'll look for pre-painted ones, and I'll just say that they're just people there. So if you're looking for a diorama or something, that's a great way to get some extra stuff, and it just kind of really helps out there. So with that, hope you enjoyed the video. It's fun bringing this to you. We went through a lot of stuff trying to get through the 2 ships and trying to see what else we can dock on here, which is just fantastic. You know, it's fun just to be able to show this and that. So just going from there. As always, thanks for stopping by. It's wonderful having you here. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and we'll see you in the next video.